right now. Information Man Show is right here. Gonna go ahead and bring him up for this segment in right here. And
how you doing?
How you doing, Angels? This guy says his name is Angels Arn. Angels Arn. I do see you are a real person. I'm gonna go ahead and bring you in also. Go ahead and continue, Eli, on what is next. Now, I don't know
misinformation, man.
Don't speak to me. Don't speak to me. Don't speak to me, man. I know about you. Don't speak to me. That guy's a troll. I just had a few things I want to say because I've been sitting back and observing everything that's been happening, and I'm not getting into calling people's names. I'm not getting into personality issues. I do have to say this though. I've been on the YouTube streets for a very long time. I'm battle tested. I'm very well known within Black YouTube. I've got multiple channels. One in particular channel that's doing very well. And one of the things that I noticed is that YouTube was never created for people to have beef with each other. It was actually, I think we should be using our channels to enlighten people, educate people, and do great things. One of the reasons why you sometimes have beef, which is why I don't normally get on panels anymore, is because most of the beef starts with people hanging out on panels, having difference of opinion and thoughts, and arguing with each other. That's where a lot of the beef on YouTube in general starts, where someone says something sly you don't like, and what happens is that everybody's tough when they're behind a keyboard on YouTube. Everybody's tough. Most of these people would never do anything to you in person because there's a fear of retaliation, right? A fear that you could get hit, you could get knocked out, and you may have a plan going in, but nobody knows what they're going to do until they get hit, right? How you respond. I'm not a part of the gig economy. My channel, I do political, social issues. I have a sports channel that's doing really well right now. I'm kind of focused my mind on content and less time on talking about other people. Eli, I've been watching you for a number of years, and my only constructive criticism for you is that when you have trolls, and you've made this very clear on your channel. However, what gives trolls power? They want you to continue talking about them. That's the whole idea of trolls. They come into your channel, they say things, and then they want you to respond, and they want to get you off of your content. And when we're spending a lot of time talking about trolls, we're not talking about content. And this is why I got to say, this is why people don't build their channels. You got to remember, when you're involved in these beefs, you have people who don't know you yet. They run by your channel. They see that it's a beef going on when they're really looking for content. You're also losing potential subscribers, even though you might get subscribers due to beef. I don't want beef subs. I'm going to tell you how this works. When you get subs on your channel based on beef, they're only watching you for beef. When you're not in beef, they're not watching your real content, which means you got dead weight on your channel. So my thing is, hey, as grown men, you got to do what you got to do. You got to defend yourself when someone comes at you wrong. I get it. But I just don't, and I'm just giving you constructive criticism for everybody. I just don't see the win in the game for going back and forth with grown ass people who live 3,000 miles from you or this miles from you, and you can't do shit to them. And you putting out all this, you get your heart is racing. People are getting emotional. This is for everybody, and so it's just not worth it. Now I'm gonna break this down for you. There's two types of people on YouTube. There are content creators, and then there's YouTubers. I'm sorry, I'm not a YouTuber. YouTubers are people who spend most of their time beefing with people, hiding behind avatars, never show themselves, talking a bunch of shit, and they don't have any structure or production to production value to their channel. That's not what YouTube promotes, not what they want. And eventually all this type of stuff and drama is going to be getting rid of, because as YouTube is moving into the future, they're looking for content, not drama. And eventually they're going to make new policies that are going to get rid of a lot of these drama type channels that engage in drama. Now, I don't want to take up all the air in the room here. I got to say this. This is no disrespect to anybody. There's a rule, and then there's an unwritten rule. As a man, I'm sorry, I'm not going to engage in the affairs personally of another man's family or even talk about it. Now, you may say that, okay, a person puts their information out there and you're concerned, but we have to also consider the other individual. Sometimes people can tell you something and then something really bad happens, and you might want to answer, but because something so personal as family reaches at the heartstrings, sometimes people may not want to answer you because maybe they're going through some type of pain. I'm just saying, I don't know these people, but I just know that sometimes when people are going through something, they may not want to talk about it, even though they might have put it out there. And I got to be honest with you, when it comes to my family, I don't owe anybody any explanation. The only thing that you owe people on the YouTube streets is your content. So if I make a channel saying I'm going to teach you A, B, and C, that's the only obligation I have to you outside of my family life, period. Because you don't own the content creator. You don't own the explanation of what's going on in his family. All that he's supposed to be responsible, or she, is to give you the information that you actually came to the channel for. I'm just giving that perspective because you got to look at both sides of this. Yeah, we want answers from people, but you don't know what's going on internally in their life, okay? And I personally just don't. One of my no-nos on YouTube is the racial stuff. Oh, that's a no-no. And another thing that's got to be a no-no is when you got beef with someone, keep the beef based on them. Keep the family, the mothers, the kids out of it. Because guess what? They're not on YouTube. They didn't create the YouTube channel. They're not the ones that said, hey, I'm going to teach you how to do A, B, and C. So why are they even being brought up in the first place when they're not on the YouTube streets? Look, in the community that I hang in, that's the man code that we play by. You don't talk about family. You can talk about other people, but at the end of the day, when all this settles down, Eli, and everybody that's involved in this situation, people at some point are going to have to get back to content, because how long does this continue to go on? At some point, you got to focus on content, and ask yourself, this is something I always ask myself. What type of digital reputation do you want to have? Do you want people to remember you as, hey, that's the dude that really produced really great content? Or do you want to be remembered as, that's the dude that's always beefing with people? Because you got to remember, you gain a digital reputation. And this is the most powerful thing about a digital reputation compared to a reputation in the real world. The digital reputation is on here forever.
Right. That's why I was asking Eli, right when you clicked in, I was asking them, what's next? Because of all this stuff, what's next? Because all this stuff really happened with that Glitchgate thing that happened, and then it brought this up. Now that it's been passed or hacked or fixed or whatever else it is, what's next? Yeah. You're gonna focus more on doing you and let Pedro give himself his exit strategy and just leave out, what's next for Eli coming up? That's what I would like to know.
I could share that with you and say that this whole thing was a two-phase process, and we're done with phase one. Phase one, with the guys that I've been working with, was about exposing the creators that had the fake content using the glitch. We felt the need to share that with people that were not aware. Now that that is done, it's off to phase 2, and that's lobbying for better rights for gig workers, working with other people that are trying to pass laws that are going to further help. Being an advocate is probably the best way to put it. That's what I want to do. I really like what Jeff Thomas Black is doing, and I want to fight for the rights of these people. And because when I even did it for just under 4 months, like I saw how hard it was. And some people make it sound real easy, but it's not as easy as people make it sound. It's not.
Right.
And you know it, Robert. It's not an easy thing.
Right.
I'm gonna leave with this because I'm gonna drop off the panel. I just want to say this.
All right. This is what I want you to do. Do your final words, because normally when someone leaves the show, I give them final words at the end. So I'm gonna give you the floor right now to do what you're gonna do, and then tie in your final words that can help out everybody out there.
Well, I'm gonna just say I'm gonna say it now because I know it's actually, you know, your interview with Eli. I just want to say that the only way that I see this working for DoorDash drivers is that you've got to unionize. That's the only way. You've got to unionize to change what you don't like. And I think you need to have people. See, this is how I look at it. You can go back and forth with each other on YouTube, but it won't change a damn thing until people actually get off of YouTube and go to Washington, D.C., lobby your local politicians, because all government is local first. You got to lobby the politicians to change and get results, because I know everybody's got their issues with people, but I'm just trying to be level-headed here. Going back and forth with one another will not solve it. It has to be solved at the local government level to the federal level. And then you have to have people unify to demand a union, okay, to be able to deal with this. Eli said in California, we have all kind of different rules in California about how you can't do certain things, right? Which is great. People across the country should be lobbying for some of the rules that we got in California to protect gig workers, right? Because at the end of the day, I look at DoorDash as a big fat ripoff. And the reason why I find it a big fat ripoff, because their business concept is part of the ripoff. They decided not to have their own vehicles, to have you driving in their vehicles because it cuts their costs, right? So they have you drive your own vehicle, right? And that's the delusion of this idea that you are an entrepreneur, because in fact, they're actually raping you over the coals in the way they are engaging in their practices. And at the end of the day, everybody that's on YouTube, that's a gig worker, you're losing. And this is why at some point the back and forth arguments have to stop, and the real work has to go down on the ground to deal with where this whole thing is going in the future. However, I believe, and I've heard people say this, DoorDash might get broken up as a company. You never know. Uber's a powerful company right now. They may take it over and implement their rules. Something's going to give. And I would say this too, I'm going to exit with this whole thing. If you really don't like what DoorDash is about as a worker, there are plenty of other jobs that you could do to earn extra income right off the damn computer at home while you're kicking back and you ain't running around. I'm just saying, you have to also offer people other alternatives if they just are fed up with DoorDash altogether. You gotta start thinking about other alternatives, gentlemen and ladies out there. I'm about to drop off. I took up too much air in the room, but y'all take care. I hope the fighting will stop. I hope the back and forth, I hope this thing will simmer down and that people will see the bigger picture. And that is, gig workers are being ripped off. At the end of the day, that's really what's going on. And take care, everybody. Take care.
Great to see you, man. Great to see you.
All right, no problem.
Good to see you.